And we have also embedded the deletion function of account in the app. This is a requisite feature of one app. And if you set hurdles or set all these high levels for the users to delete their personal data or delete their account, this is a violation of the rule. And about the completion date of these requests, in most of the cases, and data protection laws, they require 30 or 40 calendar days. But in China, they will have named out the 15 business days, even though this is kind of a very same, but these probably are different in some way. So when you as a OEM customer received such individual rights, you may come to us in a very first phase, like in 10 days, and Tuya will prepare like 10 to 20 days all these data, for example, by the data portability or data access. So this might be a procedure you and the Tuya can cooperate with. After, there is also a negative response, like if the user does execute his right of deletion or rectification, but backends or in the cloud, or our technical guys just missed to do this mission, then it is also a violation. So Tuya has enabled this function automatically to receive the signal from the user to execute this function. And information security channel, how ensure that all these individual users can contact you, whether it's about a hotline or a privacy email or other mailing address. All these are fine for them to find, but you have to provide one. And this, when Tuya individual users, they wanted to delete the account, we will deliver the message to them. And after 7 days, why it is 7 days? Because we didn't use the user authentication at the right moment. They choose to delete the account. And 7 days is to ensure that this action is doing by the same person. And 7 days is kind of like also user authentication for them. And if they would like to reverse the action in 7 days, the account will be remained. So you may see the delete account is enabled in the app. And data retention and security. Every mobile app has its mobile application or any devices, they must have a data retention period. And you may see that in the first place, they talk about, it is talking about the identifiers. Unique identifier, will relate to a unique user. In Tuya, we use a very unique user, a unique identifier is UUID from the product device, and it will be reported back to the cloud. And there is also like phone number or email address registered for its user account, then this is also a user identifier. So here I want to let you know that Tuya will not often use this unique identifier. We replace this UUID with another ID so that we can commonly use that type of ID. This is a kind of like pseudonymization to replace all this data to a fake one and commonly use that, so that we can protect this unique user. And the phone number and address, email address, we will desensitize it, and so that our internal staff or employees will never have the actual access to that. Even only when there is a emergency or real situation for the problem targeting, problem solutions, then we will extract the real data. So this is also the second place which I also express about the unauthorized disclosure, and we have developed the access control platform. This platform is kind of like a very complicated one, because not all the development teams can access to that. If you wanted to look at the whole platform, you have to apply the access. And when you wanted to look at the non-sensitive data or sensitive data, there's two branches of ways of application, and there's two levels of supervisors approval, so that you can access to these data. So, and for the third one, retention and deletion period, both app and product devices reach the 2 years in Tuya, we will delete all our individual users. For example, if you are a user of Tuya Smart Life, if you never used the app and product which connected to the app for 2 years, both for 2 years, we will delete your information. And before that, we may provide you a notice saying that you haven't using this product or the app for 2 years. You may again, to trigger or to activate your account or retain your account by logging the app and connecting to the devices. Or if you don't, we will just delete your information. And after that, if you wanted to use that app or the product devices again, you need to re-register. And anonymous data. If a user has its all data collected and stored in Tuya, and we do have such, but for the current stage, we don't have any legal basis for retain all these data beyond the data retention period, but we will just make all these data anonymous, like data statistics aggregated, so that they can never be relating to a particular individual. And about mobile advertising, we do have embedded a function of marketing and advertising on the app, and you may know that. And but our individual users has the option to opt out. So in the first place, you have to let the individual users know that we have this marketing communications. And when they click the agreement or the privacy policy, they may know that they may have already know. And at the current stage, we don't have any target advertising, and we don't have profiling. But there is a value-added service for our customers. You can do the profiling. And non-targeting advertising, which is optional, because you may have the data or product improvement, and you want the users know all these changes. And legitimate, yes, this has already been talked through. And viral marketing, this is very rude and a big violation of the marketing solution. No viral marketing. And Tuya has a responsibility to check the customer's choice, so that we can ensure that all the instructions from our customers are aligned with the data protection rules, as well as a very appropriate business purposes. So no variant marketing, and ensure content is appropriate. The wording, the images, or the links are very appropriate and correct. This is a type of, you may have already known this notification setting in our app. And there is a marketing message. When you opt out this selection, Tuya will never use your information for the marketing purposes. And this is about children's and adolescents' privacy. Each country has its own age level of children and adolescents. Like, for example, in China, we name 14 and 18 as adolescents or non-adults. And in most of other countries, probably 13 is the age level for children and adolescents. So if some apps are targeting at known age minors, like Children's Watch, you may have all these privacy considerations into the app. And there must have a privacy protective default settings, like a alarming calls to their parents or guardians. And at the current stage, Tuya does not set the levels or will have no measures to identify a particular manners, particular children. So we will see all this information imported or provided by the individual users are in the same level. And talking about the privacy policy, I will go very quick through about our privacy policy, as all these principles we have already delivered. So we'll go very quick about Tuya's privacy policy. So one more reminder is that our customers shall prepare their own privacy policy, because probably you may have some other highlights, or you may have more things to tell your individual users. So, but for very specific things, when Tuya can afford our help, is very happy to help. So it's about the legal entity identification is Tuya, and what our apps will, what types of app we will deliver in this privacy policy, and what personal data we will collect, and in different dimensions, like user account data or device data, we all listed them in the different categories. And the purposes, like provide services, improve our services, marketing solutions, profiling, personalization, or collecting data for legal compliance. And who do we share with? Our third parties, or in this dimension, we will never share information with our customers or other business partners. And to some of the affiliates, because in some cases we will enter into the account with different entities, like Tuya Hangzhou or Tuya GmbH, Tuya Global Inc. And in a development hub, Tuya Hangzhou as a development hub must have the access to all these data, so we may be shared with all these personal data. And all these international transfer, this is according to the GDPR, we have to have a standard contractual clauses to ensure our international transfer data an international transfer of them, how to execute the individual's personal rights. There's a contact information for them, and the data retention minimum period. Why we put the minimum period rather than a defined period? Because there are 7 days like deletion period for the log files, and some of other information, some other value additive services like purchased by end users 1 year for the videos. All this information, when this service is overdue, all this information will be deleted. And probably after 2 years, which I've already explained. And there is a dispute resolution, which we purchased from our third-party consulting firm, so they can address some of other privacy disputes from our individuals and changes information to the to our individual users. And I will go through very quick about this data inventory. As you may see that there, in this page, there lists some of the elements that our customers will have a very high attention on, like credit card number, no, bank account, children's information, app password, email address, SMS. Some of the information are not required for our services and products. So we are not going to collect them. And here are some other information like username. Some individual, they will set the username as their phone number or email address, but this is not very recommended. And health data, of course, Tuya will, like if you have a heartbeat or some other like BMI analytics, they will also represent in the health data. And location about latitude and longitude. Whether it's about precise or non-precise location, Tuya will also collect them. And some other information, general information like app version, SDK version, time zone, push ID number will also collected. This is about permission setting. You may, if you operate your app or mobile phone very often, you will see that there is a privacy settings, and Tuya has its enable some of the information, some of the permissions there. And this is about Android settings. Android, to me, it's more complicated. So probably you may back to see how to ensure your privacy mode is in a secure way. And probably sometimes you may revoke all these permissions. And when you first download the app, the Tuya Smart or some other app will ask your personal data, your permission, like permission to your album, microphone, Bluetooth, to the camera or home data, etc. And this is a very quick look at the privacy design in the IoT platform. You may never take a further look at or clear look at the privacy policy. This is also embedded in our IoT platform, because whether you're a corporate customer or individual customer, we have to ensure you are aware of all this information we delivered in the first place. And cookies preference is also a privacy control in the most of the data protection legislations. And these cookies delivered into 3 dimensions, like required, functional, and advertising. You may just click them and close all these cookies collected from you. And this is a sliding mode to test whether you're a robot or not, whether it's attacking or testing or not. And this is a IoT. This is a very often asked question by our customer: why there's so much less information on the IoT platform. I wanted to know more about my individual users, how they interact with our products, how they use our apps, and if they have encountered any problem, malfunctions in their apps. Yes, we want our customers know more about that, because but in the IoT platform, not only our customers will have access to this data, but our internal staff. So in the first place, we have developed a solution like Cloud API integrated between Tuya and our customers, so that they can automatically receive the full type of data, full copy of data. And in the second place, if there is no Cloud API, then we will provide the offline extraction, generation. All these works can be supported to export all these data elements to our customers. So in case there is data leakage or unauthorized access to these data, we will ensure that end-to-end, peer-to-peer, we to you, the way of transmission. And from my perspective, the privacy perspective, I don't want my colleagues to know more about this information, because in previous, I was told that previously there might be some other customers, they will grant this account, their PID or product account or the IoT account, fully to our staff, to our employee. And so for the sake of easy operation, or for such management, for their easy management of the IoT platform, they will give this account to internal staff. This is a very big violation from security and the privacy end. So this is just a small reminder that your data shall be secured by each way. So some other party are not supposed to have access to these data, so we just need to cut that off. And that's why we put that less information on the IoT platform. And if you wanted to see more information, we can have the above mentioned ways. So this is from this angle, probably it's resolved most the problem of data leakage. So hope you will understand that. Okay, this is what I would like to share with you, and from the perspective of security and the privacy angle. So if any of you wanted to know more particular aspect of information, so I can answer that.
Yeah. So thank you, Gemma, for your marvelous speech. And I think here today we have the most information to learn about privacy and security. So does anyone has any questions? Or let us check the chat box to see.
Oh, it's already 7.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I didn't put much information on that, because PDF. Oh, sure. I can send you offline, Lim. Xinwei Lin. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
I was told that this will shared on YouTube, so I didn't put much details in the presentation. Hope you can understand that.
Okay, so if no further questions, I think that's all for today's webinar.
Okay.
Okay, we got your email, and I will send to you maybe next Monday. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also, it's the last session for Series 1, but we are also planning more great contents for you. Maybe next time we will share something about our products or our other interesting solutions. Okay. So as soon as we have decided the next time's live streaming, I will send the invitation and send the detailed information to you, okay? Okay. I will note your email in my computer. And thank you, everyone.